So just a brief background of the history of the Philippines. So in the prehistory period, the evidence of early hominins such as stone tools and butchered animals was found as early as 709,000 years ago. The country's oldest human, the Kalaw man, inhabited the country as early as 67,000 years ago. And however, for modern humans, the Tabon man remains the oldest known at about 47,000 years ago. So at your left, this is the Kalaw cave where the Kalaw man was found. It was found tarsal bones in the fingers and bones in their toes during the 67,000 years ago. So pre-colonial period, the lagoon from 1900 AD to 1565. The Laguna copper plate inscription is the earliest record of a Philippine language and presence of writing in the Philippines. It was found in 900 AD. So early settlements in the Philippines are referred to as barangays, which range from 20 to 200 people. And pre-colonial Filipinos have made contact with China, Brunei Sultanate, Korea, Japan, and Muslim traders. So the culture of the Philippines mainly influenced by the Spanish period because we were colonized for 333 years. So Spain colonized the Philippines for 333 years. The Spanish expedition to the Philippines was started by Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan in March 1521. However, Magellan was killed during the Battle of Mactan against a local chieftain, Lapu-Lapu. So we considered Lapu-Lapu as our first hero back then. So after more than 40 years, the first European settlement started in the Philippines by Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, a Spaniard, in 1565. So for the past 40 years, Spain tried to colonize the Philippines, but there no avail during those periods. So during the 1890s, Rizal, which I mentioned a while ago, inspired Filipinos to seek annexation and independence from Spanish regime. And the Philippine Revolution began in 1896, led by Andres Bonifacio. On June 12, 1898, General Emilio Aguinaldo, our first Philippine president, declared the independence of the Philippines from Spain. So on your left, the Vigan Ilocos, or this is one of the preserved heritage site, UNESCO heritage site. This looks like the colonial period during the Spanish era. Houses during the Spanish era. So aside from Spain, we were also colonized by the Americans for more or less 50 years. So the American regime started in the Philippines in 1898 after the conclusion of the Spanish-American War under the 1898 Treaty of Paris. The Philippine-American War lasted from February 1899 until July 1902, after the capture of General Emilio Aguinaldo. The Philippines was given Commonwealth status in 1933 in preparation for the independence from the United States. And the Philippines gained independence from the United States on July 4, 1946. So, because we were Commonwealth of the United States during 1940 to 1945, we were also affected during the World War II. Actually, we were the largest casualty in World War II in Asia. So, on December 8, 1941, Japan launched an attack on Commonwealth of the Philippines 10 hours after their attack in Pearl Harbor. Filipino and American soldiers were defeated at the Battle of Bataan and the Battle of Corregidor in April 1942. So the Japanese occupation of the Philippines occurred between 1941 and 1945 during the World War II. The Philippines was liberated from Japanese control by Allied forces in 1944, and the Philippines granted full independence by the United States in 1946. So at your left, it's called Dambana ng Kagitingan, or the statue of Valor of statue in Bataan, one of the provinces in the Philippines. So it was built because of the soldiers who fought for the World War II, the Filipino-American who fought for the World War II. So another history that I want to discuss of my country is the martial law era in 1972 to 1986. So in September 1972, Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law. So human rights abuses were rampant during that period. So according to Amnesty International, about 70,000 people were imprisoned, 34,000 were tortured, and more than 3,000 were killed during this dark chapter of the Philippine history. So under the martial law period, the Philippines lost decades of development. The country's external debt grew from 8.2 billion in 1977 to $24.4 billion in 1982. In addition, the Marcoses plundered the country's coffers with various estimates putting the amount at between $5 billion to $10 billion. So the assassination of former Senator Benigno Aquino in August 1983 became the start of the downfall of Marcos dictatorship. So in 1986, the bloodless revolution, or called People Power Revolution, ousted the dictator Ferdinand Marcos. So at your left, this is one of the events during the People Power where Filipinos go out in the street to protest against the dictatorship of Marcos. So just a brief economic background. I think I presented this one in the international conference. So our population right now is 109 million. So 300,000 square kilometer total land area. Our type of government is unitary presidential. Our currency is Philippine peso. So our gross domestic product, we're the 36th in the world in nominal value, and in real value, we're the 29th largest economy in the world. So our GDP growth is 7.6% as of 2022, and our import-export is 159.29 billion dollars in 2022, and our export is $115 billion. So our economic sectors: agriculture, industry, services. So main industries are electronic assembly, aerospace parts, agribusiness, automotives, IT and BPO, food processing and furniture and textile, pharmaceuticals, petrochemicals, metal casting, mining, and shipbuilding and tourism. So the government of the Philippines. So we have the type of the government, just what I've said, is the unitary presidential. But we have three co-equal branches of the government. So we have the legislative, or the Congress, the executive, the president, and the judiciary, or the judicial. So the legislative branch is authorized to make laws, alter, and repeal them through the power vested in the Philippine Congress. The institution is divided into the Senate, and the House of Representatives. Then next is the executive branch. It's composed of the president and the vice president, who are elected by popular vote and serve a term of 6 years. The Constitution grants the president to appoint his cabinet, or the minister. So lastly is the judiciary. The judicial branch holds the power to settle rights that are legally demandable and enforceable. It is made up of Supreme Court and lower courts. The Constitution expressly grants the Supreme Court the power of judicial review. So the Philippine geography. So in your left, this is the map of the Philippines. So what I mentioned a while ago, the three stars of the Philippine flag. So because Philippines is main three archipelago, the Luzon archipelago, which from this is the Luzon archipelago. Then the Visayas archipelago, this region, this one, and the Mindanao archipelago. So this one. Yeah. So the Philippines is an island, over 7,500 islands. The archipelago stretches for about 1,540 kilometers from north to south, and the main islands are Luzon, Mindanao, Mindoro, Leyte, Samar, Negros, and Panay. So the Philippines lies east of the West Philippine Sea and west of the Pacific Ocean. Other major bodies of water in the region are the Sulu Sea in the southwestern Philippines, containing several islands and protected areas, and the Celebes Sea. So nearby countries are Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Taiwan, and mainland China. So most of the Philippine islands are volcanic origin. The archipelago is situated within the Southeast Asian part of the Pacific Ring of Fire, an area of intense volcanic and seismic activity. So in the Philippines, it's normal to have earthquake, volcanic eruption, or volcanic activities, and typhoons. A lot of typhoons in the Philippines. So we experience like more or less 20 to 30 typhoons in a year. So just beautiful places in Luzon. So first is the Batanes Island. It's the northernmost province in the Philippines. So it's actually near Taiwan. So also next is the Northern Blossom Flower Farm in Benguet. It's also northern part of the Philippines, Luzon. So next is the Villa Escudero in Quezon Province, the El Nido in Palawan, and the Taal Volcano in Batangas. So Taal Volcano, just a trivia, is one of the smallest volcanoes in the in the world. So it is situated in a lake. Then it has the crater. It's also lake. So it is a volcano within the lake. So next is in Visayas region. So the Chocolate Hills, when it's dry, it looks like a chocolate. So that's why it's called Chocolate Hills. The Hinagdanan Cave in Bohol, Kawasan Falls in Cebu, Boracay Island, the famous Boracay Island in Aklan, and the Apo Island, Negros Oriental, or this is one of the best diving spot in the Philippines. So in Mindanao region, so the Tinago Falls in Iligan, the Sunken Cemetery in Camiguin, the Mount Apo in Davao, the highest peak in the Philippines, the Lake Cebu in Cotabato, and the Enchanted River in Surigao del Sur. So these are just some. There are a lot of beautiful places in the Philippines that you can visit. So next, there are heritage sites. So first, this picture, the Malacañang Palace. This is where the seat of the power of the Philippines. This is where the president resides and his or her office. So next is the Aguinaldo Shrine in Cavite. So this is where the first Philippine flag was inaugurated. This is the residence of the first Philippine president. So next is the Quezon Memorial Shrine. This is the second president of the Philippines, where he is buried. The Fort Santiago in Manila, the Spanish where the seat of the power of Spanish government before. The Corregidor in Cavite. This is where American and Filipino fought Japanese. And the University of Santo Tomas, Manila. This is the oldest university in Asia. It is, I think, 400 years old university. So another heritage sites are the Magellan Cross. So the Magellan Cross is the start of Christianity in the Philippines. It was bought by Ferdinand Magellan in 1521. So this is the original cross brought by Ferdinand Magellan. Next is the MacArthur Landing in Leyte. This is the start of the liberation of the Philippines from the Japanese occupation. So the Sandugo site in Bohol, or the blood compact site of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi and the local chieftain in 1565. Next is the Intramuros, or one of the fortress of Spanish during the 16th century. The ruins in Bacolod and the San Agustin Church in Manila, the oldest church in the Philippines. I think the San Agustin Church is 400 years old also. So what are Filipinos and what is Filipino? The difference between Filipinos and Filipino. So Filipinos are citizens or people identified with the country of the Philippines. The ancestors of the vast majority of population were Malay descent and came from the Southeast Asian mainland. Contemporary Filipinos consist of nearly 100 cultural and linguistically distinct ethnic groups such as Tagalog, Cebuano, Ilocano, Hiligayon, Waray-Waray, Bicol, Mestizo, and Kapampangan. So Mestizo, because we were colonized by the Spaniards for 300 years and the Americans for almost 50 years. So these are the mixed culture from Spain and from American, United States people. So what is Filipino? So Filipino is the national language of the Philippines. The estimated total number of native languages and dialects spoken in the Philippines is more or less 150. Most of the country's languages are closely related, belonging to one of the subfamilies of Austronesian, more specifically Western Malayo-Polynesian language. Tagalog and Cebuano are most widespread language of the Philippines. So if you heard Tagalog, it's not the language. It's just a dialect in the Philippines. So our national language is Filipino. So Filipinos are the people of the Philippines. So that's the two common misconception about Tagalog and Filipino. So some food of the Philippines, food cuisine. So first, since we were colonized by the Spanish, the Americans, and the Japanese, our food are mainly westernized in approach, but some also due to the Malay, because of our Malay descent, it is mixed. So first is the pancit malabon. Also, our food is, we were influenced by the Chinese culture. So pancit or the noodles, kuracha, this is local seafoods in southern Philippines. Kilawin or ceviche. So chicken inasal or chicken barbecue. Sinigang, smoked fish. This is tofu and pork. So Chinese cuisine. So this is sisig or the pork ears, fried pork ears. Lumpia or spring roll, fresh spring roll. So kare-kare or peanut stew, adobo, the famous adobo, and halo-halo, one of the famous dessert in the Philippines. But there are a lot of food because of the mainly different culture in the Philippines. These are just what I know food in my country. These are some of my favorite food in my country. But I don't know the southern part, the other food in the Philippines. So the religion in the Philippines. Anyway, so 79% of Filipinos are Roman Catholic. This is because of the occupation of the Spanish for 300 years. So we were mainly, before the Spanish period, we don't believe in any religion. But due to the Spanish influence, they imposed the Roman Catholicism for us. And I think 6% is the Muslim. 3% is 3 to 1% other Christian religion. And the 9% is also, this is non-believers, I think. So, this is the on your left, it's the Metropolitan Cathedral of Immaculate Conception in Manila. This is the largest church in the Philippines. This is the seat of the Roman Catholicism in the Philippines. So some festivals and holidays. So we celebrate these festivals. So Philippines love feast days. So if every month, almost twice a month, we have festivals around the corner of the country. So first, this is the Philippine Independence Day. We celebrate Philippines Independence Day on June 12. So yeah, we have celebration all over. It's a national holiday in the Philippines. So also the Feast of Black Nazarene. This is a feast for Roman Catholic. So it is celebrated for 400 years, I think. So next is the Sinulog Festival in Cebu. Also, this is January 9. Also, this one is Sinulog Festival, Cebu, January. Mascara Festival in Bacolod. So the history behind the Mascara Festival, because in 1980s, because of the famine in the Philippines, Bacolod used to be one of the richest province in the Philippines. But due to the 1980 crisis, the people of Bacolod don't have food to eat, and in one way of expressing themselves that even though they are very poor, they don't have to eat, they still smile. That's the origin of this Mascara Festival. Then the Dinagyang Festival in Iloilo, Panagbenga or the Flower Festival in Baguio. The Baguio is considered the summer capital of the Philippines because it's the coldest part of the Philippines. It's above of the mountain. The Pahiyas Festival in Quezon, or the Bounty Festival in Quezon, and the Moriones Festival. Also, this is celebrated for Christian feast. Then lastly is the Christmas season. So one of the unique traits of the Filipinos love Christmas. Usually, in other countries, the Christmas season started on December. But in the Philippines, it started in September. That's how they love Christmas, in bear month. So when you go to the Philippines at the start of September, you will see a lot of this kind. Lantern, a lot of Christmas songs will be played around the area. So I don't know why Filipinos love Christmas. It's just that there are no historical scientific studies about it, but Filipinos love Christmas. So the Philippines and the art and culture. So these are the traditional and non-traditional. So for traditional, these are the oldest tattoo, or it's called Mambabatok. It's in mountain area in northern Luzon. So this lady who's tattooing is 100 years old, and she's still tattooing foreigners, Filipinos who wants to go there. So next is this is one of the traditional houses in the Philippines. It's called Bahay Kubo or Nipa, but this one is quite small. It's also in the northern part of the Philippines. So also one of the traditional is weaving. So Filipinos also, especially in the northern and southern part, love weaving. So also the non-traditional are this one, the dancing. This the I forgot the name of this one, but I think it's Cariñosa. It is played in the Spain before. So the art, also the painting. This is one of the famous painting of Juan Luna, one of the famous Filipino painter during the Spanish era, and this the Noli Me Tangere, or one of two famous books published by Jose Rizal. So at your left is the National Museum of the Philippines in Manila. So the flora, I think this is my last slide. So the flora and fauna of the Philippines. So these are some of the endemic species of plants and animals in the Philippines. So first is the tarsier, one of the smallest primates in the world, the Rafflesia. I think Rafflesia, there's a lot of Rafflesia around Southeast Asia, but this one is especially this one, is quite endemic in the Philippines. The Luzon bleeding heart, Luzon bleeding heart. Waling-waling, one of the famous orchids in the world. The Philippine crocodile, the largest freshwater crocodile in the world. The Tamarao, or it's kind of carabao, but endemic in one of the island in the Philippines. And the jade vine. It's only found in Masungi J Reserve, one of the mountain in the Philippines. So I will end my slide, my presentation on this quote. So this quote by Dr. Jose Rizal to Luna and Hidalgo. So Luna and Hidalgo won first and second place in a painting competition in Spain during the Spanish era. This is considered one of the biggest achievement during those times, because during those times Filipinos are considered subclass in Europe. So this quote is, "Genius has no country. It blossoms everywhere. Genius is like the light, the air. It is the heritage of all." So maraming salamat po. Thank you so much and good morning.